There is a lot of thoughts to be had about this guy. He married a sugar mama.
He married up.
It looks like an elaborate bong or something.
I don't see how you're getting in heaven with those pants. We said nothing controversial.
Yeah, we did.
No, we didn't.
Yes, we did.
Hi, my name's Tanner Poulsley, joined by the lovely Elli Milan. And this is Masters Before Us, where we look at the life of an artist and maybe learn about something in ourselves. How are you, Elli?
I'm good.
All right. So, I've got an exciting person lined up today.
All right. Should I guess or are we?
Well,
It doesn't make sense to guess because I probably don't know
guess
who
anyone,
it is.
yeah.
Okay.
No, you do know who it is.
Oh, I do?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, this artist was described by famous psychoanalyst Carl Jung as the discoverer of the unconscious.
Carl Jung, discoverer of the unconscious. So it's got to be somebody in the 40s and 50s?
Well, not necessarily.
Oh, so Carl Jung might have been talking about somebody in history.
Yeah.
Oh.
So yeah, that narrows it.
All right. Now I have no idea.
Well, we are talking about none other than the guy who painted the Garden of Earthly Delights, Hieronymus
Bosch. Okay.
Or both, if you want the Dutch pronunciation.
Okay. This should be interesting.
I remember seeing this triptych in art history in college. And my professor,
They whitewash it.
Yeah, and they just went over it so quickly.
Yeah, and they whitewash it. They don't actually delve in.
Yeah, because there's a lot happening here.
It's pretty
if
trippy.
you just zoom in on one thing, there's still so much happening. We got a guy putting flowers in a place they don't grow. That guy's got a berry head. I know.
Yeah.
It's everywhere you look, it's like a painting in of itself.
Yeah.
But it's this huge, massive 3-panel thing.
Yeah.
So I went on a quest to learn about Hieronymus Bosch. And turns out there's not a lot that's known about him.
So that's probably why the professors just kind of glossed over. Because it is weird. I mean, there's a lot of imagery that's pretty debaucherous and not for, all eyes, let's say. And if you don't know a lot about his character or who he is, deep down in his heart, you're wondering, well, what kind of guy painted all this stuff?
Yeah. So that's why I'm thinking we can take what we do know about him, and then maybe we could kind of analyze his work. And
we can make up the rest.
Yeah, to fill in the gaps.
All right.
So he was born sometime in the 1450s. We're already starting off on a great note. We don't even know when he was born. Sometime in the 1450s in Serholtenbos. I listened to the Google Translate lady say this name so many times to try and get it right, and I'm pretty sure I'm still getting it wrong.
Sertogenbos.
Okay, well, and we do have Dutch students.
Sertogenbos. I know.
Sertogenbos.
I would like to issue a formal apology to people that speak the Dutch language. It's a beautiful language, and it does not deserve the treatment I'm giving it. But I'm going to butcher it.
That's okay.
So, he grew up in Sertogenbos, and he was born and lived most of his life, pretty much his entire life, in or near Serholtenbos. And his father and grandfather were also both painters, and they had a workshop. Sadly, none of their work survives, so that sucks. But we know that he comes from a family of painters, so that tradition is there. What we do know that happened to him in his youth was around the time when he was probably around 10 to 16, so formative years. Serholtenbos had a really terrible fire, and 4,000 buildings burned down. And think about a fire in medieval times, that's you can't call a fire truck or anything.
No.
You kind of just have to let it burn and just watch your belongings go away.
Right.
So childhood trauma, we know that. And the only other thing we know about his early life is in 1480-ish, he married a woman who has a Dutch name.
Aleid van der Mervenne.
And she was a couple years older than him, and she was heir to land and property.
Okay.
So he married a sugar mama.
He married up. Okay.
He married up. And when she inherited that, he was able to open his own workshop then. So that's pretty much what we know of his before times.
Okay.
So let's get into when he started working professionally. So this right here is one of his earliest works. This is Crucifixion with Saints and Donor, probably from around 1485. And this is very tame compared to what we know is coming.
Right.
So this is like very typical Northern Renaissance Netherlands painting. Like we don't really see a unique Hieronymus Bosch voice in this.
I mean, the striped pants are kind of interesting.
I know.
With, this sort of like dead gaunt face.
So these paintings were basically...
And then what is this critter?
It's like a man and a woman, I think, in the back.
Okay.
So you can see like bits and pieces, I think, of his voice coming through here, where
but
everywhere
he's
you look, there's
restrained.
something, but it's definitely restrained. Or he's still finding his voice maybe.
Yeah.
Because this is his early stuff.
Right.
And this was done for a specific person, for this guy in the striped pants. These paintings were basically a way to like
That's
always
weird.
be praying.
Wait. The painting was done for the guy in the striped pants?
Yeah.
Huh.
Basically, it's a way to be praying for eternity.
Okay.
So he's always praying. So he's like, see, I am praying so often, I'm immortalized in this painting.
Okay.
I'm good. I get to go to heaven. Although, I don't see how you're getting in heaven with those pants. Just, like, this outfit looks like something from Hot Topic. Like, so, this was in 1485. But in 1488, he joined the Illustrious Brotherhood of Our Lady. Yeah. It's a cool club. It was founded like 100 years earlier in Serholtenbos, that place. And it's basically a Virgin Mary fan club.
Oh, okay.
Like they're just like really into the Virgin Mary. Maybe he was just really into the Virgin Mary, or
He just wanted to be in the Brotherhood.
yeah, because the Brotherhood was very well connected.
Yeah.
Which means if you're well connected, you know a lot of rich people, which means you know a lot of people that will pay you.
Right.
And when he joined the Brotherhood, that's when his work starts to get kind of crazy. And we get what's considered his first true masterpiece. One of his earliest triptychs is the Adoration of the Magi. More and more we see more and more detail added. There's like, little Jesus, Virgin Mary there. We see the Magi. There's a naked man in that house there.
What?
Yeah, look.
And there's like a little skirmish going on over here.
Yeah, my favorite part is woman running from wolf while man gets mauled.
Oh my gosh. I'm sure it was symbolic.
Yeah, so this was considered one of his first big hits, one of his first successes. And as he became more popular, that's when his work started to get more fantastical and more hellish. So this is the triptych, The Temptation of St. Anthony, which is painted around 1500. And this one is interesting in that it tells like a story through it. So we can see St. Anthony falling, getting helped up. We see him in the middle panel dealing with temptations and whatnot. In there you can see him praying to Jesus inside this ruined building. And then in the last panel you see him contemplating everything he's been through in this temptationist place.
Yeah.
And there's this fire motif, which is, I think, done very kind of realistically.
Yeah.
And I mean, there has to be a connection to him seeing 4,000 buildings burned down in his childhood, right?
Right.
My favorite part in this one is man and woman flying on fish in the sky.
Yeah.
Like, what could that mean?
I don't know. Only he would know. Too bad he didn't keep notes. Or it could just be he was like kind of in right brain land, just painting what he wanted to paint and being free.
Yeah.
And, doesn't know what it means.
I think that's what
kind of like what Carl Jung was talking about.
Carl Jung was saying that he really
Like the
let
first
loose.
surrealist.
Yes,
Long before surrealism. But was he perceived in his time as weird or a standout, or was he like well-liked and successful?
He was well-liked and successful. So I think he was perceived as weird in a good way. Because like...
Well, the tone too was people were critical like of... You know, in religious paintings, they were in a critique mode because they were kind of down on the church and down on the corruption because there was so much corruption going on.
Yeah,
and so
his paintings, I feel like, exemplify a lot of corruption.
Yeah.
Especially, let's get into it, this one, Garden of Earthly Delights. So I looked up, apparently this painting was done to commemorate a wedding of some count or whatever.
What?
I know. I was like...
That's quite the wedding present.
I know. I was like, I'm a little sad I didn't get something like this for my wedding.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like the theme is very contrary or interesting for a wedding.
Yeah. Some historians interpret it as like a warning, kind of like, be careful. Because it starts out, you know, Garden of Eden on here, and God presenting Eve to Adam. There's a bunch of critters. There's a unicorn there.
I wonder what that weird pink structure is.
Yeah.
The egg thing.
I'm super interested in these kind of elements he has in his work. Like,
I mean, it looks like an elaborate bong or something.
Yeah. And this like two-legged
Oh my
dog?
gosh. It's a kangaroo dachshund.
Yeah.
He's
And
just
I
making
find
stuff up.
his Garden of Eden panel so interesting too, because the Garden of Eden is supposed to be like paradise. Everything's perfect. But also, if you look closely, like there's a lot of animals eating each other and stuff in it. Like,
Yeah.
So I wonder if that's like foreshadowing kind of the fall.
Maybe he was just a twisted dude.
Maybe. I can't tell. Was he twisted? Was he a genius? Was he a twisted genius?
Well, he could be a twisted genius for sure.
Yeah. So that's the Garden of Eden. And then there's the main part, I think the most famous part, the debaucherous.
The fall.
Yeah. Which, gosh, it's like, where do you even start here? I guess let's work our ways down. He goes all out with the architecture. And what I find so interesting is like, I want to know like, where does he find like the inspiration for this stuff? Because I guess it's kind of reminiscent of cathedrals in a way. Maybe like the points on them.
Yeah, it's really weird.
Yeah.
And maybe like it doesn't seem as like, I mean, to me it's dark a little bit because it's kind of, you know, debaucherous or chaotic and creepy when you look close. But, you know, from a distance, it looks like, wow, a fun, happy, amusing carnival kind of thing. And maybe that's
they're just having fun.
Yeah, and maybe that's his way of depicting, you know, debauchery or sin or that slippery slope.
Yeah, I think slippery slope is a perfect way to I think that's what his message is.
Yeah.
It's definitely like surface level, it's weird. And then you look more and you're just like, well, it's just a bunch of naked people like eating food and hanging out.
Yeah.
But then you really start to look and it's like, are they really doing things that are good for them? And one last thing about Garden of Earthly Delights, the hell panel.
Mm-hmm. So it doesn't work out for these people?
It does not in the slightest. Let's start from the top. We see a very realistic, like, I feel like is what Sir Tolkienbos looked like burning.
Actually, to me, it looks like Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, it does.
You know?
I wonder if Lord of the Rings got inspiration from this.
Maybe.
There's this man. People call this the tree man. I was like, that's an egg man. Mm-hmm. But people think that this is a self-portrait of Bosch himself, which also raises questions. So it's like, okay, so if it is a self-insert, what the heck does that mean?
Yeah, maybe he was very tempted.
Yeah, because he's a vessel in this, carrying people, and on his head, there's flesh bagpipes.
It's so creepy.
I know. Maybe he views himself as a vessel for showing this stuff, maybe? I don't know. Because this does look a lot like him. We only have one confirmed self-portrait of him, and it's a drawing. And I don't know, I see a resemblance. Another thing about Bosch is there's not that much work by him that survives.
Yeah. Well, it probably took him a long time to do these, too.
I know, right?
Yeah.
So he died in 1516, and the Illustrious Brotherhood of Our Lady threw him a funeral. It's like a party, made it sound like, but... And that's like all we know about him.
Yeah.
So what can we say about him? I think he was deeply religious, and I think he cared a lot about what was going to happen in the afterlife. And I think he wanted to warn people, to be, through example, a very vivid example, to not stray from the path. What do you think?
Okay, so this is just my opinion, and just in life of people that I've met. And it definitely gets controversial. So this might ruffle feathers, but...
Ruffle away.
For me, people that are kind of like obsessed with doing wrong and right, and like super sin conscious and like very preaching that, tend to struggle with things themselves.
Oh, that he's projecting.
Yeah, it's not just like he's very pure of heart. Like a pure of heart person, I don't think could think of all those things.
That's a very good point, yeah.
I definitely think, yeah, he was religious, but like a lot of extra, and religious people is different than spiritual. That's a completely different thing. Like,
yes.
But religious is when I say that word, what I mean when I say it is not people who love their religion and are devoted to the religion. I'm not saying that. But people who, what I'm saying are religious, are people that position themselves higher than others and point their fingers at other people in a pious way.
Yeah, holier than thou, like
and even if you have these like ideas or discernments or concepts of like this is wrong and this is right, it doesn't mean that you can't have that. You can, but to spend an entire triptych like laying it out in this very defined way that is soaked with warning of don't do this, then I don't know. I like it's like a negative message,
Yeah.
And I always tell artists like paint the other side of your pain, paint the world you want to live in. Tanner, what the heck? It's like such a controversial topic. Why would you? What are you trying to feed us to wolves here or something?
It's not we said nothing controversial.
Yeah, we did.
No, we didn't.
Yes, we did. People get offended by very little these days.
That's controversial.
Is it?
I don't know. Probably.
I don't even know what's controversial anymore. I'm like walking a tightrope here.
We spoke true from our hearts.
Okay, I don't know. Yeah, that's true. It's my opinion. Doesn't have to be your opinion. I'm not trying to...
Yeah, we prefaced everything with that.
Yeah.
Everything was prefaced.
Yeah. Okay, so my question for you, Tanner, is after delving into Hieronymus Bosch and learning about him, what little could be learned about him, do you have a greater appreciation for him? And your original question was like, how does this enrich our lives, or what does this say about us?
Yeah. It's so interesting how a guy we can know so little about can have such a big impact on so much stuff.
Yeah.
Because like Salvador Dali himself says that he drew inspiration from him. And I think there is something to be said about just the imagination that would have gone into it. Like in the beginning, we said that he was really, I think, in his right brain when creating this. I really think he truly found his voice as an artist and really pushed through it. And I think that's why he's so popular. And I think that's a testament to how powerful it is finding your voice as an artist.
That's good. I like that.
Because that's why, that right there is why we are talking about him right now, is because he had a message.
Because if he painted all his early work and he never deviated from that,
we would
he would be unknown today.
Yeah, just like his father and grandfather.
Right.
They painted stuff like that, and none of their work even survives.
But he really pushed the envelope. He really went for it. He really felt true to his convictions, whatever they might be, or agree, disagree, whatever. But he was all in, and his full, like, authentic self turned up a notch.
Yeah.
You know, and really doing it.
Well, that's a look into Hieronymus Bosch. Now I can stop butchering the beautiful Dutch language. Again, I'm so sorry to every Dutch speaker out there. I tried. So if you like this and you want to see us dive deeper into this topic and more, join us on Art Club.
Art Club is really great, you guys. There are hundreds and hundreds of videos all about different techniques. We teach you all kinds of tricks and cool things to do. There's also monthly contests and themes, and really Art Club is a fantastic community of artists from all over the world that you can meet, and you will be super inspired and learn a ton. So join us there. And how do you join us? Well, it's called artsocial.com. It's a social media. It's free just for artists. So join Art Social, and then you can join Art Club from there.
All right. Well, thank you for joining me, Ellie. And thank you for watching. We would love to hear your thoughts about all this in the comments. There is a lot of thoughts to be had about this guy. And who you would like to hear about on the show next. So until then, go make some of your own art history.
Ooh, I like that.